Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of this community of ours. It has been really an honor and privilege being able to put out these videos to help entrepreneurs change the world. As you've heard me say before, I believe that entrepreneurs are the lifeblood of our country and our world. And without entrepreneurs, we would not see innovation and things moving forward. So anything that I can do to help, while I don't have all the answers, I have started and exited many businesses, two that I grew to over 9 figures. I brought in some amazing guests that have done even greater things than I have done. So hopefully between what I am sharing and what they are sharing, we can give you 1 or 2 or even 3 nuggets of great information that can help you in your entrepreneurial journey. I want to talk today about you, and I want to talk about this badge of, kind of honor or distinguishment that people think defines them. And let me be more specific. So when we do things in our business or in our personal life, there are, perceived consequences of these actions, or a badge that we wear, if you will. And let's say that you try something bold and risky and you fail. You believe that you are going to have this badge of disgracement or embarrassment, that you are unable to succeed in whatever you're doing because you tried this big audacious thing and failed. Or maybe you went out into a sales presentation and you bombed it and you didn't close the deal, and you're going to see that person in the grocery store, or someone's going to talk about how you were a terrible salesperson. Like, all of these things that we think are not real. And I think a very important part of business is coming to the realization that you're just not that important. And I don't mean that as a negative thing. What I mean when I say you're just not that important, it's that most people don't actually care about what's happening in your world. And you get so hung up with thinking that people actually do care about what you are, doing, or what happens in your business, that it prevents you from trying bold things. But that is not the reality. And there have been so many times where I've seen people, try these just huge, audacious goals and fail. And then they get back up and they try again, and they go even bigger and even bolder, and they succeed. And let's think back when, like Elon Musk, had the first idea of, let's have boosters be reusable. And people thought he was crazy. Like, you're going to send this booster filled with, who knows how many millions of gallons of gas, and you're going to have that then detach from the rocket and come back and land successfully so that you can reuse it again. People thought that was nuts. And the first, experiments were disasters. You had, them explode on takeoff. You had them explode on landing. You had them land and then fall over. Like, there was all these things that were happening that were failures. And if Elon was embarrassed because he just lost hundreds of millions of dollars on this experiment, we wouldn't have today what SpaceX is, which is putting out, thousands of, satellites and, all sorts of things that go off into space. That's way smarter than my pay grade. But had he have felt like he had this shame, this embarrassment, this badge of disgrace, he wouldn't have kept going. Same thing, with, what was it, Thomas Edison, Jefferson, I can remember, whoever invented, or Ben Franklin, whoever invented the light bulb. The story is that they tried it 1,000 times. And on that 1,001st try, they invented the light bulb. Like, come on. Like, we would have electricity today if after the first attempt, they threw in the towel because they were embarrassed because everyone around them, you stand up in front of the room, you're like, I'm going to invent electricity and I'm going to create this light bulb. And then you have this huge gathering of people around and you go and flick the switch and it doesn't work. Like, what does that say, to your audience? What does that say, to people? Like, are you really a failure? Or is it like, hey, I tried, I didn't succeed, and I'm going to try again? And my point to the whole episode today is really about, stop being worried that you're going to get labeled with this badge of, embarrassment, of failure, of disgrace, of all these things. Nobody cares. What they care about is when you actually do that and you succeed. And so let's say you have this big goal, and let's say, you put out this message and you fail 15 times, and then on the 16th, you're a huge success. Do you think anybody's going to talk about the 15 times you failed? No, they're going to talk about the 16th time when you succeeded. So stop being so worried about what other people think. Stop being worried that you're going to get saddled with this badge of, embarrassment, failure, disgrace, and just put yourself out there. Go for big goals. Stop worrying about what everyone thinks, and you own you. Nobody cares but you. Remember that. You care about you, and only others care about is when you succeed, because that's when they're going to be excited or negative, about your success. No one's going to remember the failures. Stop being worried about that badge. I'm Ron Dichter. This is Projecting Grandeur. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like and comment. Most importantly, share. Let's get the message out there. Help entrepreneurs change the world. Thanks, everyone.